Rejection is a word that most people fear, yet for the Stoic mind, it is not a wound, it is a weapon. Marcus Aurelius taught us that what stands in the way becomes the way. Rejection is not the destruction of your path, it is the shaping of it. It is life's method of chiseling away what is unnecessary so that your true form can emerge. When you face rejection, you are not being pushed away from opportunity, you are being directed towards something greater. The first lesson is to accept rejection without resentment. See it not as an insult, but as feedback from reality, a signal that either the timing, the method, or the direction must be refined. When you detach your ego from the outcome, rejection loses its sting and becomes a silent guide. The second lesson is to reverse the emotional current. Instead of feeling small, feel sharpened. Instead of shrinking, expand. When someone tells you no, ask yourself, what will my next move be? And act with precision. Let their dismissal become the flint that lights your fire. Third, understand that rejection is proof you are in the arena. Many live safe, unchallenged lives because they never risk hearing the word no. Every rejection you face is evidence that you are playing the game at a level where stakes are real. The fourth lesson is to leverage curiosity. Instead of defending yourself against rejection, explore it. Ask why it happened without the bitterness of self-pity. This transforms rejection from a personal attack into a personal advantage. Fifth, use rejection to measure your resilience. If one closed door crushes your spirit, then your spirit was built too fragile. Let every no be a chance to prove to yourself that you can rise again. The sixth lesson is to remember that rejection often reveals the limitations of others, not your own. Sometimes the world cannot see your value yet because they are blinded by their own fears, doubts, or narrow vision. Rejection is a word that most people fear, yet for the Stoic mind, it is not a wound, it is a weapon. Marcus Aurelius taught that what stands in the way becomes the way, and rejection is one of those obstacles that can become a powerful path forward. It is not the destruction of your journey, but the shaping of it. It is life's method of chiseling away what is unnecessary so that your true form can emerge, much like a sculptor cutting into marble to reveal the masterpiece hidden within. When you face rejection, you are not being pushed away from opportunity, you are being redirected toward a place you may not yet see. This shift in perception is where your strength grows. The first discipline is to accept rejection without resentment. See it not as an insult, but as feedback from reality. When the world answers you with a no, it is simply revealing the truth of the moment, telling you that either the timing, the method, or the direction is not aligned. When you detach your ego from the outcome, rejection loses its sting. It becomes not a personal judgment, but a guidepost showing you where to adjust your steps. The second discipline is to reverse the emotional current that rejection triggers. Where most people feel small, feel sharpened. Where most shrink, expand. When someone says no to you, that is your moment to ask, what will my next move be? And to take that next step with precision and without hesitation. Let their dismissal become the flint that lights your fire. This is not about anger or proving them wrong. It is about proving yourself right in your own eyes. The third discipline is to recognize that rejection is proof you are in the arena. There are countless people who never face rejection simply because they never risk putting themselves forward. They hide from the sting of disapproval and live in the comfort of smallness. But every rejection you face is evidence that you dare to try, that you are willing to play the game at a level where the stakes are real. The fourth discipline is to leverage curiosity. Instead of defending yourself against rejection or burying the memory, examine it with detachment. Ask why it happened without the bitterness of self-pity. This transforms rejection from a closed door into a key for self-improvement. The fifth discipline is to use rejection as a measure of your resilience. If a single closed door crushes your spirit, then your spirit was built too fragile. Let every no you hear be a chance to prove to yourself that you can stand again, stronger than before. Every time you rise, you train your inner muscles for greater challenges ahead. The sixth discipline is to remember that rejection often reveals the limitations of others, not your own. Sometimes the world cannot see your value yet because they are blinded by their own fears, doubts, or narrow vision. This is why you must never hand your self-worth over to the judgment of those who cannot see clearly. The seventh discipline is to transform rejection into redirection. A Stoic knows that fate often works in ways that cannot be understood in the moment. What feels like loss now may be a gift in disguise, protecting you from a path that would have led to mediocrity or harm. The eighth discipline is to strip desperation from your pursuits. If your worth depends entirely on another's approval, rejection will destroy you. But if you walk into every encounter knowing that you already carry value within yourself, rejection becomes nothing more than a passing breeze. The ninth discipline is to make rejection your silent teacher. Study its patterns, its triggers, its timing. Learn what it reveals about your approach, your communication, your preparation, or your audience. Rejection is never random. It leaves clues if you look closely. The 10th discipline is to create a counter offer within yourself. When the world says no to your proposal, you respond by saying yes to your growth. Each rejection is a signal that there is something to sharpen: your skills, your patience, your adaptability, your strategy. The 11th discipline is to master emotional control in the moment of rejection. Do not flinch, do not rush to defend yourself, and do not collapse into apology. Your calm presence in the face of rejection is power. It tells both you and others that you are grounded in something far deeper than the outcome of a single moment. The 12th discipline is to store rejection like an arrow in your quiver. You do not fire it in bitterness, but you keep it as a reminder. One day, the same people who dismissed you may see you succeed, and when that day comes, you will not need to speak a single word. The 13th discipline, the deepest of all, is to thank rejection. Thank it for closing false doors. Thank it for forcing you to adapt. Thank it for making you resilient. Thank it for showing you who you truly are when the easy path is denied. Thank it for training you in the art of detachment, for reminding you that no external opinion can define the worth of your inner world. For a Stoic, rejection is not the end. It is the beginning of mastery over self, mastery over emotion, mastery over the story you choose to tell about your life. Marcus Aurelius understood this. The obstacle is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced, because in its embrace you find the unshakable center from which all true power flows. Rejection is often seen as a wall, an abrupt end to what we hoped to achieve, but the Stoic understands that rejection is not an ending, it is a shaping. It is the force that directs the flow of our lives in ways we may not yet understand. Marcus Aurelius would have told you that the mind must remain steady, for it is not events themselves that harm us, but the way we interpret them. When someone rejects you, they have not taken away your worth. They have simply provided you with an opportunity to see yourself apart from the illusion of constant approval. This is a rare gift because it strips away the dependence on external validation and forces you to anchor yourself in something deeper. The first mastery in facing rejection is to remove your personal story from it. Most people hear no and immediately attach meaning to it. I am not good enough. I will never succeed. They don't like me. The Stoic removes these stories and sees only the fact, an outcome different from the one expected. By separating the event from the emotion, you reclaim your power over it. The second mastery is to reverse the emotional pull that rejection exerts. When most people feel discouraged, you choose to feel sharpened. Where they see defeat, you see refinement. This reversal turns rejection into a silent ally because it pushes you to work with greater precision, greater patience, and greater resilience. The third mastery is to understand that rejection is a sign of movement. It is proof that you are attempting, striving, acting. Those who never hear no are often those who never risk hearing it. They remain in the safety of inaction, where nothing is lost, but also nothing is gained. Every rejection you face is a testament to your willingness to enter the arena where real growth happens. The fourth mastery is to become curious about rejection instead of hostile toward it. Ask questions without self-pity. What can this teach me about timing, about preparation, about alignment with the right people and opportunities? In this way, rejection transforms from an emotional blow into a strategic advantage. The fifth mastery is resilience. A single rejection can shatter a fragile spirit, but to the one trained in Stoicism, each rejection is a form of conditioning. It is a repetition in the gym of life, strengthening the muscles of perseverance. The sixth mastery is recognizing that rejection often has nothing to do with your true ability or value. It is often a reflection of the limitations, fears, or preferences of others. Some doors close simply because the person on the other side cannot see clearly enough to open them. You do not let their blindness dictate your vision. The seventh mastery is to see rejection as redirection. Many times, the path you are denied would have led you away from your true calling or would have bound you to something that was not meant to endure. Fate often closes doors not to punish, but to protect. The eighth mastery is to strip your pursuits of desperation. When you approach a goal needing the approval of others to validate your worth, you place your peace in their hands. A Stoic carries their worth with them, so rejection is not a theft but merely a turn in the road. The ninth mastery is to study rejection with discipline, see if there is a pattern, learn what it says about your communication, your preparation, your understanding of the audience or the task. Rejection leaves footprints that can guide your next steps if you look closely. The 10th mastery is to turn rejection into a call for self-improvement. When the world says no, you say yes to refining your skills, deepening your patience, and expanding your adaptability. The 11th mastery is to maintain composure in the moment of rejection. Many lose credibility not because they were rejected, but because they reacted with visible defeat or defensiveness. The Stoic stands calm, making it clear that no single moment defines the whole of their journey. The 12th mastery is to store rejection as a silent record, not for revenge but for perspective. Time has a way of revealing the truth about value and vision, and often the same voices that said no will one day watch you rise. The 13th mastery, the most transformative of all, is gratitude for rejection. Gratitude for the clarity it brings, for the resilience it demands, for the hidden redirections that only reveal their wisdom in hindsight. Gratitude because without rejection we would grow soft, complacent, and untested. Marcus Aurelius understood that the external world cannot be controlled, but our inner response always can. Rejection will visit you again and again in life, but it is only as strong as the meaning you give it. To the Stoic, rejection is not a thief of dreams, but a refiner of character. It is the process by which illusions fall away, revealing the unshakable truth of who you are and what you are capable of becoming. When you see rejection through this lens, you no longer fear it, you no longer resent it, you no longer let it define you. You learn to stand where others fall, to remain calm where others rage, to keep moving where others stop. And in this way, rejection becomes not the thing that ends your journey, but the thing that forges your strength and guides you toward the place where your efforts will bear their fullest fruit.